Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
Your favorite group chat thread has been leaked. Are you scared? Queen Jern, let's hear it.
I would say no, because I stand on business. What I said is what I said. But then if my group chat is leaked and it doesn't tell me who is being leaked to, if it's the world, if it's to my employer, then yeah, I'm concerned. Because I say what I want to say, how I want to say it. It ain't no kind of,
No filter at all.
None. So if you think what happens on this microphone is something, you would be amazed at the shit I say when I'm in a safe space.
Oh,
so, anything goes. So I would definitely know that I'm fired.
Well, depends on which group chat gets leaked now, because the fellas, we got some tame ones, like the ones, I'm going to be real, the ones with 12 Cal in it, tame. Because we just think 12 Cal is just this honorable.
Pastor.
We don't even, we treat him like, you know what I'm saying? We don't no shenanigans with 12 Cal around, fellas. None of that. Then we got some group chats that are just fucking filthy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. Man, check this out. What you just heard was my man King Germ from the podcast Pod and Saved Our Marriage. A good friend of mine. He's been on the podcast several times. What you just heard was him roasting me. And that's going to be the topic of today's episode, roasting. And the reason, and I'm going to go back to German in a few minutes. But one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this on this podcast is just, I don't think people understand like how it really goes down with me and the people that I call friends and the people that I love. And I came across this meme the other day and it made a whole lot of sense. And I'm going to read to, and it reads as follows. A recent study suggests that friends who engage in playful teasing or roasting tend to be more trustworthy and honest with each other, indicating a deeper level of mutual understanding and emotional safety in their relationships. Close quote. That, my friends, is the truth. And it's very evident to me based on the friends that I have and the roasting that goes on. Now, I will be the first to admit, I'm quick to roast my friends any and every chance that I get. I have a very good sense of humor. I don't really fancy myself as a funny guy, but I will be funny. And I think that's just how I am with my friends, male and female. We have inside jokes, we have running jokes, and we have jokes that literally and figuratively, depending on the crew or the friendships that I have, those jokes could have been running for the better part of 2 decades now. So yeah, I wanted to come on and talk about, the roasting aspect of it. It is something that when you look at this meme and it talks about playful teasing and roasting, the friends tend to be more trustworthy and honest with each other. I think that's very true because I see that in the relationships and the friendships and the brotherhoods that I have with my friends. And, it's something that's constant. It's something that is daily, but it's something that helps, kind of define who we are. And I like the fact that it happens because nobody takes any of it personal, and it's never anything personal. It's always in good fun and in good taste. I'll give you an example. This one other meme that I saw, it said, men are funny because you can ask them what his best friend does for work and he'll be like, I don't know. Meanwhile, they've known each other for 20 years and talk every day. Now that is one of my crews. Man, this crew, I literally, our group chat really started so far back that our group chat started with emails. We didn't even call it a group chat. Like, we would send each other emails and it was jokes. And then when we got to know each other and, and everything, and I was someone who was introduced through my boy Irv, and Irv knew this guy and that guy. And so Irv was kind of like the plug, at least for me. And then I got to know these brothers. And again, I've been rocking with them at least since 2000. So it's been 25 years now. And, what's interesting was, even in our group, there were some, because we met online, there were some guys that still had not even met each other up until like last year. Unfortunately, we lost one of the homies. Rest in peace to my boy Boogie Brown. Definitely gone, but not forgotten. Miss you, big dog. But yeah, it's those guys, man, are funny. And it's like, this is something that's every day. I mean, like we have a running chat every day, every single day. And it's interesting because, like I said, for a long period of time, I didn't even meet him. You know what I'm saying? And we still we've been planning this crew outing and we still have yet to get together, but it's always in good fun. It's always jokes. At the top of the podcast, you heard King Germ, again from Pod and Saved Our Marriage. King Germ, and I don't know where this came from. King Germ, Uncle Dolomite from the Too Much Game podcast, and my boy Baylor from BTG for President podcast, an open run with BTG. They somehow crafted the idea or the thought that I'm a millionaire. And I don't know where that came from, because anybody that knows me knows that, hey, look, I'm trying to get it. I still need $32.87 to get my page off layaway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still trying to get it. But they started this thing about me being a millionaire. And so it's been a running joke. And I don't know how or where it came from, but the jokes just keep running and keep running and keep running for as long as we've known each other. And what's interesting is I actually have a friend who, admittedly, she sought me out because she got on Instagram one day and there was a chat going on, and I jumped into the chat on Instagram. It was an Instagram Live. That's what it was. And I was just in the chat. I wasn't on the Instagram Live. I was just in the chat. And so when I came in the chat, Dolomite and King Germ both said, "Oh, here comes 12 Kyle, the millionaire. Oh, he's got a bathroom in his bathroom. He's got, his bathtub lifts up. His walls do 360s. He's got cars that fly." They were saying all kind of outlandish stuff. And so my friend, who I did not know at the time, sent me a direct message and a friend request. And I later asked, I said, did you send a friend request because you thought I was a millionaire? And she was like, "Yeah." Shout out to Heather. And so we laugh about that to this day. But I'm like, no, I'm not a millionaire. Like, I'm not even close to being a millionaire. But that's been the running joke. So, again, roasting. We roast each other all the time. I mean, listen, and my roast to them, you guys have seen Dolomite. You guys have seen Baylor on this podcast. Both of them live in LA. Listen, LA, if you live in LA, you got some money. Ain't no doubt about it. I've been to Baylor's crib, and listen, once you get past the, security and the force field around his, palatial estate, I mean, it's that's money right in and of itself. Didn't go to Dolomite's house, but I hung out with Dolomite when I went out there this past December. And so, yeah, I mean, again, they got money. Hung out with King Germ. King Germ, I mean, the man, King, he's King. His name is King Germ. I mean, come on. King. Nobody else names a child King. But but the roasting is constant, and it's daily, and it's in our group chat. And again, we love it. I have no no qualms about it. Now, one of the groups that I'm in it's every day 365 24/7 is a group called the Cypher. Now, the Cypher is all of my boys from college, and we all didn't go to college together, but we all have some type of connection to South Carolina State University. So the joke, when I tell you, the jokes literally can start at 6 a.m. and everybody gets it. Everybody gets roasted every single day, all day. It doesn't matter what you do. You could get roasted by your favorite team losing a particular game. So I'm a New York Giants fan. If the Giants lose, I'm getting roasted on Sundays. If my boy Mo, he's a diehard New York Knicks fan. If the Knicks lose, we really roasted him because Mo is a Knicks fan and he's let me take that back. He's not a Yankees fan. He's a Knicks fan and he's a Cowboys fan. Two of the most obnoxious fan bases you would ever want to be around. And I can say that because I hate both of them. But no, our roasting is constant because we've known each other. All of us have known each other since college. We're talking 30 years, right? So there's so much roasting going on. I'll give you a funny story. One of the guys in the group, my man Malachi, shout out to Mal. Mal came to Atlanta. He and his wife came to Atlanta for an event, and where the event was, it wasn't far from my house. So I texted him and he was like, wait, I'm over here. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna come over and see you, before you leave or whatever. So I went, and the place literally was like 5 minutes from my crib. So I get in the car, ride over there, jump out. And when I get out, I call him. Well, I text him first, and then I called him, and he didn't answer. And his wife, I guess, saw his phone on the table ringing when I called. And so his wife, he had gone to the bathroom, right? He came back. His wife said, "Hey, why are the feds calling you?" Because this fool had me listed in his phone as the feds. But that's Mal. You know what I'm saying? We are constantly roasting each other every single day. It doesn't matter. Everybody can get it. Everybody will get it all day. Are you feeling nostalgic for the golden eras of rap and soul music? If so, tune in to the Rap Soul Podcast. We are your weekly journey through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, spotlighting the music and the hidden gems that shaped the soundtrack of our lives. From the powerful beats to the soulful melodies, we bring you the best of the past with fresh insights and stories. Rediscover the music that defined a generation. Subscribe to the Rap Soul Podcast and enjoy the vibes. If you want a podcast where culture, conversation, and life collide, where you get insightful commentary, engaging discussions, and a fresh perspective on everything, then you need to listen to the 12 Kyle podcast. Hosted by the one and only, yours truly, 12 Kyle, a voice that you know and trust. This podcast will bring you thought-provoking moments, compelling stories, and a whole lot of fun. Whether you're a first-time listener or just tuning in, each episode promises to be something new and exciting. So sit back, relax, join 12 Kyle, myself, and my guests as we break down the world around us and give you stories that you've never heard before, from nostalgic throwbacks to everything in between. The 12 Kyle podcast is a front row seat to this conversation. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of the 12 Kyle podcast, where the vibe is always real and the discussion is always worth your time. It is amazing. It is amazing the fact that I've known these dudes 30 years and there's never the only time we're serious in our group chat is when we gotta be serious. But it could be with I'll put it like this. I literally could win an $800 million lottery tomorrow And as soon as I got in the group chat, they would remind me about the time that I fell down the stairs, or the time that I was walking in Magnolia Mall and I ran into a wall. Like, that's just who they are. They're assholes. I'm gonna be honest. But you know what? I'm an asshole too, because listen, I do the same thing to them. So it's almost like when we're roasting each other, it's like, who's gonna get it today? And your job when you're getting roasted in the group chat is to get out of the hot seat. That's your only thing. So, if your team loses, you might want to not pop in that day. Or if your team wins, you can talk your shit. Or if something happens, or, it's just running joke. Like the homie, Danny. Shout out to Danny. Danny's in the group. I know Danny since like my freshman, my freshman year at South Carolina State. Danny's a year older than me. So a couple of years ago, Danny went to Italy for business. And something happened. And so like we lost, he was, posting in the group as much as he could or whatever. And then something happened and we didn't hear from him. And he was supposed to be in Italy for like 2 weeks, I guess. Right. And so I guess after a day or two, like we didn't hear from him. So somebody said, hey man, Danny got arrested in Italy. And so the running joke was, we got to get bail money to get Danny out of jail. And so the whole day, all we did was roast Danny about being arrested. We have no idea if Danny was arrested. And I know he wasn't arrested, but because, this was, 15, 20 years ago, we had no way of, we could have called him, but nobody called. Nobody was good. The joke was too good. The homie Malachi that I just spoke of, while he has me as listed as the feds in his phone, we think, or the running joke is that because his job sent him to Mexico, that he could have ties to some people down in Mexico. So that's the running joke. So Mal is the black Mexican. So it's constant. When I tell you it's constant, but I love those guys. They've always been there. And, I've watched their kids grow. I've watched them grow in their marriages. I've watched them grow as fathers. And they can say the same for me. They remember when I was a, young kid just coming on the campus of South Carolina State trying to find my way. A couple of us played ball together and at South Carolina State. So it was just, we've literally watched each other grow. And then there's my crew from back home, my cats from Florence. Obviously I go back further with them. Like my boys, Rudy, Zell, I've known them literally been friends with them since like 7th grade, right? My boy Jay Fresh, who I've known since I was 6 years old. Now these roast sessions go, half of the stuff I can't even talk about because crew rules won't allow me to talk about this stuff on the podcast. I'll just say this. While you guys celebrate this podcast, you enjoy this podcast is a roast the minute that I walk in any room with these dudes. I saw them a couple of weeks ago for a high school homecoming. And as soon as I walked in the room, hey man, you doing a podcast tonight? What you podding about tonight, man? It's a running joke. While most people will, listen, I even had someone at homecoming come up to me and say, hey, I listened to the podcast. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job, so forth and so on. The only problem with that praise and adulation is that one of the homies was standing right next to me and heard the whole thing. And so after that, it was just jokes after that. Jokes upon jokes upon jokes. I've mentioned before on this podcast, and it's worth repeating. My friends from back home, my close friends, my crew from back home, they don't call me by my name. They call me K-Dot, right? And it's not because it has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. It started from it's like maybe 25 years ago. We were supposed to be going to a club, and I was notorious for not abiding by the dress code. Like anytime we were supposed to be going to a club, I would be the first to be like, all right, man, what's the dress code? And they're like, hey man, look, you got to put some hard bottoms on. We going button ups, hard bottoms. and jeans. I'm like, man, why we got to get dressed? Because like I never wanted to get dressed up to go to a club. I was like, why I can't wear Timberlands? Why I can't wear Jordans? So anyway, long story short, we go to this club and I didn't want to bring any dress shoes. I didn't bring any hard bottoms. I bought some black S. Carter sneakers. Y'all remember the S. Carters? And so we're getting ready to go into the club, and you know how it is back in the day with the clubs. They would not let you in if your gear wasn't up to par. And so I get to the door, and it was like, hey, he can't get in. He got on sneakers. And I was like, these aren't sneakers. These are S. And honestly, it didn't look like a sneaker. It was an all black shoe, right? And so the guy was like, all right, I'll let you in, but you got to pay $40. I think the cover charge is like $20, but I had to pay $20 extra just to get in the club. And so they was like, man, you always doing something. Why you got to be extra? Why you got to be different like that? So then they started roasting me, and they was like, man, what? It's like, nobody told you to wear your K-Dots with you. And so the name K-Dot stuck. So given the fact that they call me K-Dot, has been a running joke for the better part of the last 25 years. Maybe it's been longer than that. It might be longer than that. I'm not even sure. Whenever the S dots were out. But yeah, it's that crew, my crew from back home. Love those guys to life. We were all in each other's weddings. We were godfathers to each other's kids. There's so much I can say, but there's a lot that I can't say. So I'm gonna stop right there. But we do have, it's really about who's going to be the running joke. And, whenever there's a joke, when you're in the hot seat, you just got to take it. Yeah, pause. You just there's nothing you could do. There's no way you can run because the jokes will keep coming. And like, because we hang out so much together, we've got so many years of so many jokes that the jokes are kind of just stacked on top of each other. Like, we literally could be having a conversation on this podcast and we could have jokes for each other and none of you would catch it because these are years and years of referencing, funny stuff over the years. In conclusion, I will say this much. If you don't have a group of friends that will roast you, if you don't have a group of friends that you can roast, I feel for you, because as men, and the men that I had, and women too, because I got a couple of homegirls that even like with Dr. Jamel, you guys have heard Dr. Jamel on here. I constantly tease Dr. Jamel because, Dr. Jamel has, made me number 2. I used to be number 1, but, my wife, Sharice, is her BFF. So I'm like, how she sneak into the picture? I've known you since she was 6, and that's another story for another day. But she's starting to move me back to 1. But, for a while I was like number 2. Like, I'm like, how you gonna talk to Sharice? I've known you, forever. But they're close. They're very close. And I love the fact that they're close. They're like sisters, and she's like a sister to me, as you can tell. So yeah, I have running jokes. I roast my friends roast me. And I know it happens so often that I know when it's coming. Like I'll put it like this. If I weren't on this podcast, if let's say the homie Zell called me, if he called me right now, he would be like, K-Dot, what up? And I'll be like, man, what up? What's going on? You podding right now? What you doing? You talking to Joe Budden on your podcast? The conversation will start with a roast and it might go from there. That's just how we talk. And like, I always roast Zell about his cell phone. He's the only person that I know that has managed to misplace his cell phone. Like, nobody loses their cell phone. I remember one time we were somewhere. I think we were hanging out in Charlotte. Was it Carolina? I think it was Carolina Classic. Shout out to the Carolina Classic back in the day. And we went to the bank and he had to get some money out of the bank, and he literally went in the bank and he left his cell phone at the bank. I'm like, man, nobody. So we always joke with him. We was like, hey, Zell, you got your phone? Anytime we get ready to go anywhere. Hey, Zell, you got your phone? You sure you got your phone? because he's one of the few people that I know that don't necessarily need his phone. Like I'd go crazy if I didn't have my phone myself. Nah. And if you call him and he don't answer, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, my phone was in the car, or my phone was in my bag." Like this phone is never on him. It's always somewhere else. But yeah, in conclusion, I would hope and pray that you all have friends that roast you. I get a kick out of it. It's never any offense. I love it. I would actually look at my friends a little differently if they didn't roast me, because trust me, I'm going to roast them forever. And if you don't have friends like that, I suggest you get some. Trust me, the world would be a better place and you'd be a whole lot happier and you laugh a whole lot, because I damn sure do. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. We drop new episodes every Sunday and every Thursday. Don't forget about the Rap Soul podcast. It is a music podcast. Listen, it's the best music podcast that you've never heard, so you should definitely check it out. You can find it wherever you're listening and watching this podcast. It is a podcast that deals with the intersection of music and artists from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s when it comes to rap, hip-hop, soul, and R&B. Again, it's the best music podcast that you've never heard, so check it out. Also, if you want to contribute to this podcast financially, hit us up on Cash App. $TWELVEKYLE. Also, we have merch. Click the link in the description box, and there you can buy 12 Kyle t-shirts, hoodies, as well as coffee mugs. We got it for the low. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I will catch you guys next time. 5,000. Chill.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.